Hello everyone! For those who wanted to see my track system, here it is. So that's the main gate that we enter the pasture from. Water through is right there. The horses are here in the dry lot. They're free to come and go as they please from the dry lot to the truck. Nora! You're looking dead. They have some nice trees for shade. And what's really cool is that the used dirty water from us, the humans, is filtered and recycled, and it goes right into a little stream there that is completely dry because of the drought, and then it goes off into the pond. So it's pretty neat. The horses just recycle our water. They like to swim and drink in that pond. That's the front field, and behind the trees there we have the back field. Total of this surface is about 7 acres, I would say. The whole property is 10 acres and the house has a couple fenced around it. Hello, Serena. Yeah, hello. Hello. She's a tired old mare. So the way I build my track, I first start with some of these. I don't know if you can see them yet. I'm gonna get closer. I first start with the temporary posts right there. So I want to build a new part for my track here, and you can see I have all those temporary posts in a line. I use them to do the first outline and see if my fence is going to be straight, just so I can see what it's gonna look like. Of course, you wouldn't have to do that, but I'm a visual person and I like to see things before I make them more permanent. This, by the way, is a sick palm tree that the branches got half burnt, which are right there, in case you were wondering. And right after putting the temporary posts, I use these bamboo poles that are basically just wild bamboo that I harvested on the side of the highway, and I will plant those as posts to test the track, to know if I like the track where it is before I start investing into some more expensive and more permanent material. So I have the temporary posts there, and then all around the back field I have some bamboo posts that I need to add some electric tape to test this out. Here's the entry to the first part, the first half of my track, which is completed almost. There's just a few details missing, but anyway, they can go this way. You can see the little track they made in the middle, or they can go this way, and we're gonna walk this way. So once I put the bamboo post and I'm happy with that and I'm ready to invest more, that's what I use. So these are stainless steel metal T-posts with just a plastic insulator. I think it's a Gallagher, but I'm not sure, and tie wraps. And then I have this nice thick electric wire there, and the tie wraps are great because this wire is pretty thick and I'm not sure if it would, like how easily it would break if a horse were to get tangled in it. But the tie wraps would break before the wire, so they're, you know, kind of safe. Sufficient. What I really like about this is that I made the track pretty wide. I'm not sure how wide it is. I haven't measured anything, but I made it wide enough so that the tractor could drive through in case we need it for anything, for hay bales delivery or stuff like that. And I also wanted to make sure that if the horses were to play or fight a little bit, that they would have some room to move around. So that was really important for me. And it's really neat because they have some grass everywhere that they have grass on the sides, and they can walk and eat and walk and eat and just live like that and move around. So this is my strip grazing. Not sure if you can see. I have one wire there and another wire there. And this is what I move every 5 days or so. Sorry for the dogs barking in the background. So I move this every 5 days or so. I started at the end there and then moved it tack, 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 tack. And it's going to move further along until I reach the end, and then hopefully the next track will be ready then, and I will be able to strip graze the next field. I don't have electricity anywhere at the moment, but when I did have electricity, I would just have the electricity in that main wire and no electricity there. That was sufficient for me. But if I needed to, I could probably just hook that onto that and have electricity everywhere. But I didn't need to. And this goes across the whole way. I use the temporary posts. Very easy to move. I have 4 on each side, and this is blocked here. So the horses, when they're hungry, they have to walk from the dry lot or from the water that's over there and walk all the way, and they can't go here. Before I had this opened, but my issue was that the horses would just use like a quarter of the track because they would just go do that instead of going all around. So yeah, now I decided to close this off, and they have to walk all the way around to get to the opening, which is on the other side. I'm going to stop talking for now because the dogs are making a lot of noise and I want you to hear me. This here is some mint. I'm not sure if you can hear me, but I'm gonna try. The horses like to eat it. It is medicinal and it's a really nice natural dewormer. It's good for the gut. So they like to munch on it once in a while, but my issue is that I'm afraid it's gonna get out of control and just invade everything. I know how bad mint can be. So I'm gonna have to find a way to control that. This was there before we arrived. So yeah. Here, it's the neighbor on the other side of the fence. And here we have some bamboo. And the horses like to scratch themselves here, and they also like to eat the bamboo leaves, which are good for them, I think. I checked, and the false bamboo is bad for them, and the real bamboo is okay, but they're not eating a lot. I think that's true bamboo. Here is some natural milk thistle, and milk thistle is good for the liver, and the medicinal part are the seeds, and the horses, they will just come and they will grab the flower just like that. So it's really fun to watch them eat that. Doesn't look easy. And the bees and pollinators, they really like these. So it's pretty neat. It's wild. I didn't plant anything there, it's all wild. A nice tree. They walk a little track there, and they also walked a little track here. So it's nice and shady under there, and they like to scratch on the tree. I'm sad because I wanted to walk the track with the horses to show you, and I'm walking it with my dog instead. The entire track is about 500 meters long for the first half that I'm walking right now. The other half would be, I think, about 400 meters. So they would walk nearly 1 kilometer every time, and what I want to do is have the water at one end and the food at the other end, and see how that goes. So here, that is not really super well made, but it's okay for now, until I have power in the wires. But that's basically a big roll of wire, and you're gonna see why I have that here. I'm gonna have to find a better way to cook this so it's not on the ground. But this wire goes all the way to the entry of my strip for the strip grazing. I'm going to show you. That's the well for the house and the horses, for all the water, and an old water through that they're not using anymore because I want them to walk more. Some more trees and shade, and it's really neat because they have a lot of grass on the track. They haven't eaten it all, and they prefer the strip grazing because they get the fresh grass. This is all old, so it's just a snack to keep them moving. They've been on this track for 2 months, 2.5 months so far, I believe. Alright, so we're getting to my strip. So, do you remember the roll that I had at the other end? This is the end, and when I need to move my strip, I will just open the roll at the other end, take this handle and attach it to the next post, and just open, take this wire there further and open the next part between the next posts. I put this wire here so the horses would not be able to go that way and use the easiest, shortest path. It's been working well for now. They took a few hours to figure it out, so they had to walk the whole way, but they figured it out, and they're using that, and it's working well. So that's the strip that they're grazing currently, and I'm going to change it probably tomorrow. I think this is their 5th day on this strip of grass. So it goes all the way to the end where we were earlier. You can see that big tree there. Yeah, right where we were earlier. I hope you guys are understanding me pretty well despite the accent. My dog is not with me anymore. This part here was mowed previously by the previous owner because he did ride around his fields, and I do ride on the track too. It's nice. So going twice around this is 1 kilometer. The horses, they definitely go more than twice around it every day. This is the underground wire that gets my power to from the perimeter fence here all the way to my track. Because the ground doesn't freeze here, I didn't have to dig like 6 feet. It was pretty easy. I built all that all by myself. It took a few hours to put all the metal posts. What I love about this land here and the soil is that the ground is clay mostly, so it reacts very quickly to the weather. So as soon as it rains, it gets full of water and pretty muddy, but as soon as it stops raining, it dries up very quickly. So I basically don't have mud yet. I'm excited to see how it's gonna go this winter, because this is the middle of summer here right now and we are in a very bad drought. And that's another reason to manage the grass properly, because it would not grow back, or it grows back very slowly. If my math is right, which might not be the case, each strip that was grazed should have about 2 months to recover before being grazed again, which I believe is a fair time, but that's my first time strip grazing, it's my first time grass feeding horses, it's my first time building a real track. I did have a small track before, but nothing like this. So it's a big experiment. So I first started the track with these, I'm gonna put myself on the other side, with these bamboo posts, but you can see how, or why I changed to metal posts, because the bamboo was holding up great until we had a storm with lots of wind and they all broke off and my entire fence was laying on the ground all the way around. And then I was like, okay, I need to buy some better posts. So yeah, we've been around. That's the pond. That is man-made. It's built with some tires recovered with dirt. So this is my future track. I'm not gonna walk it, but basically it just goes around. You can see I have, maybe you can't see them, I'm not sure. I have the bamboo posts already installed and some bits of wire. I just need to put in some more work on that. And it's gonna be linked to this here, so the horses would basically have to go all around every time they need to get to the dry lot. The horses love those trees, they love the shade, and they scratch themselves there. Oh, a parrot. Parakeet, I think they're called in English, I'm not sure. This is old Purina. And let's go say hi to the boys. I've really seen a big difference in the weight and muscle tone since they are on the track and walking all day long, and it's pretty much like they exercise themselves. I don't need to do it, so it's nice. I mean, I like exercising horses. I'm not saying that I don't, but I was afraid coming here that I would have to exercise them so much that I would just pressure them to move and move and move, and it would destroy my beginnings of a relationship with them. But now I found a way for them to exercise themselves, so I don't have to push them around all the time, and they are getting way more exercise because instead of me just doing it once a day or an hour a day, they move all the time, which is super nice. It's much better than anything I could make them do. Hello, Tongo. I'm trying to choose a color for a bridle. Yes, sweet boy. You're such a gentleman. And I'm planning to add some obstacles on the track, some poles and stuff like that, just to make them work out even more. So that's about it, guys, and I hope that you learned some. I hope that you appreciated this little video, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask in the comments, and I'll be glad to answer.